The days following the Champions trial were busy ones on Nexus Station. The victory of a human over a Vectari warrior had shocked the entire Galactic Confederation. Species that had ignored humans now wanted to meet them. Those who had looked down on Earth now sought alliances. June sat in the medical bay as a doctor treated his wounds. Though he had won the fight, he hadn't escaped without injury. Cuts and bruises marked his body, and his right shoulder had been badly wrenched. "You should rest for at least 3 days," the doctor said, applying a healing gel to a deep cut on June's arm. "No time for that," June replied. "Too much happening." The door slid open and Mina walked in, smiling. "Our hero needs his rest, doctor. I'll make sure he gets it." When the doctor left, Mina's smile faded. "We found the explorer." June sat up, straighter, ignoring the pain. "Where? How?" "After your victory, High Administrator Quan ordered a full investigation. They searched Ambassador Rio's private communications." Mina's eyes flashed with anger. "The Vectari hijacked our ship. They were holding our scientists at a secret base." "Are they alive?" June asked. "Yes. All 23 of them. A rescue team is bringing them back now." Mina sat down beside him. "But that's not all. They found plans in Rio's quarters. The Vectari wanted to keep humans isolated, eventually make us dependent on them. The Champions trial was just the first step." June nodded slowly. It made sense. If humans had lost the trial, Earth would have been denied full membership, cutting them off from many Confederation resources and protections. "The Council has called a special session for tomorrow," Mina continued. "They're going to formally grant Earth full membership status. And the Vectari? Rio has been recalled. Their government claims he acted without authority." Mina's tone made it clear she didn't believe that. "They're facing sanctions from the Council." June leaned back, thinking. One battle won, but the larger game continued. At least now humans had a stronger position. "You should get some rest," Mina said, standing. "Tomorrow will be a big day." After she left, June received an unexpected visitor. Commander Jin entered the medical bay, moving stiffly with his own injuries. "Commander?" June said, surprised. "I didn't expect to see you." Jin stood straight, his expression solemn. "I come to offer Parith." "Parith?" "In Vectari tradition, it means formal respect from one warrior to another." Jin placed his fist over his chest. "No human has ever defeated a Vectari in combat. I underestimated you. All Vectari have underestimated humans." "Most species do," June said simply. Jin nodded. "I have been stripped of my enhancements and my rank, but I am not ashamed to have lost to you." He extended his hand in the human gesture of greeting he had learned. "I would know more about how humans fight." June shook the offered hand. "Perhaps we can teach each other." After Jin left, June thought about how quickly things could change. Yesterday, Jin had been his enemy. Today, perhaps the beginning of something else. Not friendship exactly, but respect. The council chamber was filled beyond capacity the next day. Species from across the Confederation had come to witness Earth receiving full membership status. June and Mina stood at the center of the chamber, representing humanity. "Hi." Administrator Quan spoke formally. "The Champions trial has been decided. According to our ancient laws, Earth has proven its worthiness for full status in the Galactic Confederation." The official document was displayed on large screens around the chamber. Quan handed June a small crystal, the symbol of full membership. "Earth is now the newest full member of our Confederation," Quan announced, "with all rights and responsibilities that entails." The chamber filled with approving sounds from dozens of different species. Even those who had doubted humans were now impressed by what they had seen. After the ceremony, many representatives approached June and Mina, seeking to establish relationships with Earth. Species that had barely noticed humans before now wanted trade agreements, cultural exchanges, and alliances. "This is what we hoped for," Mina said quietly to June as they moved through the crowd. But I never expected it to happen like this. Taiho pushed his way to them, his golden fur shining with excitement. I have finished my initial study. May I publish it? Study? June asked. On human adaptability. Taiho practically bounced with enthusiasm. I've been analyzing why you won the trial. It wasn't just skill or strength, it was your ability to adapt quickly to new situations. Taiho held up his datapad. Most species evolved with their technology, developing it slowly over thousands of years. Humans developed so rapidly because you had to adapt to survive. You turned your youth as a spacefaring species into an advantage. Mina smiled. Publish your study, Taiho. The galaxy should understand humans better. Later, June stood at the same viewing window where he had first seen Nexus Station, but now he watched as Earth's first official fleet of ships arrived. 5 vessels bearing the Earth emblem moved into docking positions. They would join Confederation Defense Forces, another sign of humanity's new status. High Administrator Quan joined him at the window. Impressive ships, the Ardian said. Built quickly, I understand. That's what humans do, June replied. We build, we learn, we adapt. Quan was quiet for a moment. I must ask you something, Commander June. In the trial, you could have killed Jin when you had him defeated. Most species would have, why didn't you? Because the goal wasn't to kill, June said. It was to win, to prove our worth. Interesting. Quan's large eyes studied June carefully. What would happen if other humans were pushed to their limits? What might they be capable of? June smiled slightly. What you saw was just one human under pressure. Imagine what we can accomplish as allies rather than adversaries. Quan nodded thoughtfully. I believe the Confederation will be different with humans as full members. Change can be uncomfortable for some older species. Change is the only constant in the universe, June said. Humans understand that better than most. As they spoke, Mina joined them with good news. The scientists from the Explorer had returned safely to Nexus Station. Their research data was intact, and they were eager to continue their work. Earth Command is sending more scientists, she told June. And diplomats. Our embassy is being expanded. The future looks bright for humans in space, Quan observed. June thought about how far they had come. 3 months ago, humans were barely tolerated newcomers to the Confederation. Now they were respected members with a growing influence, all because the galaxy had learned what a human could do when challenged. That night, in the expanded human embassy, Earth's representatives gathered to celebrate. Scientists, diplomats, and crew members from the rescued ship filled the room with laughter and conversation. Mina raised a glass. To Commander June, who showed the galaxy what humans are made of. June shook his head. Not just me. To all humans. To Earth. To our future among the stars. They all drank to that. Outside the windows of the embassy, the stars shone brightly. Among them was Sol, Earth's sun, barely visible from this distance, but still there. Still home. Humans had taken their first real steps into the galactic community. They had proven themselves not through superior technology or overwhelming force, but through the qualities that had always defined humanity: adaptability, determination, and the will to overcome any challenge. The galaxy would never be the same again, and neither would humanity. The arena was a large circular room at the heart of Nexus Station. Seats rose in rings around a flat combat area 50 feet across. Today, every seat was filled. News of a human facing a Vectari in the Champions trial had spread throughout the station. June stood in a small waiting room preparing himself. He wore the light armor allowed by the rules, a flexible vest that would stop some blows but not all. Beside him on a table lay his 3 chosen weapons: a combat knife with a black blade, a metal staff about 5 feet long, and a small silver disc that most observers couldn't identify. Mina entered the room, her face tight with worry. The arena is full. Every species in the Confederation is watching. Good, June said calmly. Then they'll all see what happens. June. Mina hesitated. There's something you should know. My brother was killed by Vectari 6 years ago. That's why I fought so hard for peaceful solutions. June nodded slowly. I understand, but sometimes peace comes after showing strength. A chime sounded. It was time. Be careful, Mina said. Jin has never lost a fight. June picked up his weapons. There's always a first time. The crowd grew quiet as June entered from one side of the arena. The Vektari champion Jin entered from the opposite side. The contrast between them was stark. Jin stood nearly 7 feet tall, his red skin gleaming, muscles rippling with each movement. Next to him, June looked small, almost fragile. High Administrator Quan stood on a platform above the arena. This champion's trial will determine humanity's status in the Confederation. The trial ends when one champion surrenders or can no longer fight. Death is not necessary for victory. Jin carried his 3 weapons: a curved sword, a spiked mace, and a set of metal claws that fit over his knuckles. All were larger and more deadly looking than June's choices. The Vektari champion smiled, confidently as he saw what June had brought. Begin, Quan called and stepped back. Jin didn't waste time. He charged forward with surprising speed for his size, swinging the heavy mace in a wide arc. June barely dodged, feeling the air move as the weapon passed inches from his head. The crowd gasped. For several minutes, that's how it went. Jin attacked relentlessly while June dodged and retreated, using the staff only to block when necessary. Many in the audience looked away, believing they were watching a hopeless mismatch. Some humans present closed their eyes, unable to watch their champion being hunted around the arena. Ambassador Rio watched with a satisfied smile. Everything was going as planned. The human would soon fall, and Earth's petition would be denied. But Taeho the Luminar noticed something others didn't. Each time June moved, he was studying Jin's fighting style, watching for patterns, learning his opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Jin grew frustrated as the human continued to evade his attacks. Stand and fight, human, he growled, swinging his sword. Or are all humans cowards? June didn't answer. A thin cut appeared on his arm where the sword had caught him, then another on his leg. Small wounds, but they added up. He couldn't dodge. Forever. In the stands, Mina gripped the railing tightly. What is he doing? She whispered. He's just letting Jin tire him out. No, Taeho said beside her. He's learning. After 15 minutes, Jin paused, breathing heavily. The human was wounded in several places, but still moving well. The Vektari's yellow eyes narrowed in anger. He had expected an easy victory. Enough games, Jin snarled. He reached to his belt and pressed something. His weapons began to glow slightly. Taeho gasped. Illegal tech. His weapons are being enhanced. Jin charged again, now moving even faster. The mace smashed into the floor where June had been standing a split second before, cracking the hard material. This wasn't just strength anymore. The weapons were being powered by forbidden technology. But now June changed his strategy. Instead of just dodging, he began to move in specific patterns, leading Jin across the arena. The human seemed to be drawing something with his movements, making Jin follow a particular path. What is he doing? Someone in the crowd asked. Then June pulled out the small silver disc, his third weapon. With a quick motion, he twisted it and tossed it to the center of the arena floor. It landed with a small click. Jin laughed. That's your weapon. A toy? No, June said, speaking for the first time. It's your weakness. The disc emitted a high-pitched sound, almost too faint to hear. Jin didn't seem affected at first. Then he stumbled. The sound was at exactly the frequency Taeho had mentioned, the one that disrupted Vektari nervous systems. But the effect wasn't as strong as June had hoped. Jin shook his head and kept coming, though slower now. Nice try, the Vektari growled. But not enough. That was just to confirm what I suspected, June replied. He stood his ground now, staff ready. You've enhanced yourself too, haven't you? Not just your weapons, Jin grinned, showing sharp teeth. The great Commander Jin needs no enhancements to defeat a human. But several council members were now watching closely, whispering among themselves. Enhancement of combatants was strictly forbidden. Now June began to truly fight back. He used the staff with remarkable skill, no longer just defending. His movements were quick and precise, striking at points where Jin's armor was weakest. The human moved differently now, no longer just surviving but attacking with purpose. Jin swung his sword in a powerful arc that should have cut June in half, but June wasn't there. He had dropped to the floor and rolled forward inside Jin's reach. Before the Vektari could react, June struck with his staff, hitting a nerve point on Jin's leg. The crowd gasped as the massive Vektari stumbled. No one had ever seen Jin falter in combat before. Impossible, Ambassador Rio muttered. Jin roared in anger and attacked more fiercely, but now his movements were predictable. June had studied him for 15 minutes, learning every pattern, every preference. The human moved like water, never where Jin expected. "Stand still and die with honor," Jin shouted in frustration. "I'd rather live with intelligence," June replied calmly. He struck again and again, targeting pressure points and weak spots in Jin's stance. Each blow was precisely placed. The Vektari's greater strength meant nothing if he couldn't land a hit. The crowd watched in growing amazement as the human systematically dismantled the Vektari's advantages. Jin's technology-enhanced weapons gave him power, but June's strategy gave him precision. In a surprising move, June tossed aside his staff and drew his knife. The black blade gleamed as he moved in close to Jin. The Vektari swung his mace wildly, but June slipped past it and slashed at the straps holding Jin's armor. Pieces of the Vektari's armor fell away. Beneath it, small devices were attached to his red skin, illegal enhancements that boosted his strength and speed. "Cheater!" someone shouted from the crowd. Jin, exposed and enraged, activated all his enhancements at once. His weapons glowed brightly as he charged at June with reckless fury. This was what June had been waiting for. As Jin charged, June sidestepped. At the last moment, using the Vektari's own momentum, he flipped the much larger warrior over his shoulder. Jin crashed to the floor with a thunderous impact. Before Jin could rise, June had the knife at his throat. The arena went completely silent. "Surrender," June said quietly. Jin stared up in shock. "How? How did a human defeat me?" "You relied on strength and technology," June answered. "I relied on adaptation. That's what humans do best." For a long moment, Jin didn't move. Then slowly he placed his palm flat on the floor, the Vektari signal of surrender. The arena erupted in sound as every species reacted at once. Some cheered, some argued, some simply sat in stunned silence. No one had expected this outcome. High Administrator Quan stepped forward. "The trial is complete. The human champion is victorious." June stepped back, allowing Jin to rise. The Vektari warrior stood slowly, blood dripping from several wounds. He looked at June with new respect in his yellow eyes. "The galaxy," Jin said quietly, "has much to learn about humans." June nodded. This wasn't just his victory. It was for all humans, for Earth's future, among the stars. In the stands, Mina wiped tears from her eyes and whispered, "That was for you too, brother." 3 months passed on Nexus Station. June and Mina worked hard to build Earth's place in the Galactic Confederation. Each day brought new meetings, new alien species to understand, and new customs to learn. Some days were good. Many were not. June sat in their embassy office reviewing security footage. He had set up his own cameras after finding listening devices. Trust came slowly in space. Mina rushed in, her face worried. "Have you heard the news? The science ship Explorer is missing." June looked up sharply. "The one with the human research team?" "Yes. It was studying a gas giant near the edge of Confederation space. Now it's gone." Mina's voice shook slightly. "No distress call. Nothing." The Explorer carried 20 human scientists and a small crew. It was Earth's first research mission under Confederation protection. "When was the last contact?" Joan asked, already pulling up star maps on his screen. 30 hours ago. The Confederation is calling an emergency council meeting." June frowned. Something felt wrong. The Explorer had been in safe space, far from any known dangers, and the Timing was too convenient. Earth was scheduled for a vote on full membership next week. We should prepare for the meeting, he said. The Vectari will use this against us. The council chamber was a large round room with seats for all member species. At the center stood a speaking platform. Today, every seat was filled. News of the missing ship had spread quickly. High Administrator Quan called for order. We are here to address the disappearance of research vessel Explorer. All efforts to contact the ship have failed. A murmur passed through the chamber. June watched Ambassador Rio of the Vectari. The red-skinned alien was smiling slightly. The Confederation has sent search vessels, Quan continued, but we have found nothing yet. Rio stood and moved to the speaking platform. His yellow eyes scanned the room. This unfortunate event, he said, his deep voice carrying easily, raises serious questions about human readiness for full membership. Mina tensed beside June. Here it came. Humans have barely left their own star system, Rio continued. They lack experience in deep space. Their technology is basic. Perhaps they simply lost control of their ship. That's not true, Mina said, rising to speak. The Explorer had Confederation-approved systems. The crew was well-trained. Rio waved dismissively. Yet the ship is gone. And now humans ask for full voting rights in our council? He shook his head. I suggest we delay the membership vote until this matter is resolved. Several species nodded in agreement. June noticed the Vectari delegates exchanging satisfied glances. There is more, Rio said. I formally question humanity's right to full membership at all. The chamber grew quiet. This was more than a delay. This was a direct challenge. Under ancient Confederation law, I invoke the right of assessment. Rio's voice grew stronger. I call for a champion's trial to determine human worthiness. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Mina turned to June. What is he talking about? Before June could answer, Tejo the Luminar scholar hurried to their side. This is bad, he whispered. The champion's trial is an old custom. Two species in dispute each choose a champion to compete. It hasn't been used in 500 years. High Administrator Quan looked troubled. The law does still exist. But surely there are better ways to resolve this matter. I have the right to challenge, Rio insisted, unless humans are afraid to prove themselves. June understood now. This was the Vectari plan all along. Create a crisis, then force a challenge they knew they would win. If the trial is called, Quan said reluctantly, the challenged species has 48 hours to accept or decline. If they decline, their petition for status change is automatically withdrawn. Rio smiled. The Vectari nominate Commander Jin as our champion. He gestured to a muscular Vectari warrior who stood at attention. Jin was even larger than most of his species, with battle scars crossing his red skin. The human delegation may take time to consider, Quan said. This meeting is adjourned until their answer is given. Back in the embassy, Mina paced angrily. This is a trap. The Vectari probably took our ship themselves. I agree, June said calmly, but we have no proof. And now this trial? It's clearly combat. The Vectari are natural warriors stronger than humans. We can't win. June watched her pace. Have you contacted Earth Command? Yes. They're sending a response soon. Mina stopped pacing. They'll probably tell us to decline. We can try for membership again later. If we decline, Earth looks weak, June said. The Vectari and others will never respect us. A message alert sounded. The encrypted response from Earth Command appeared on June's tablet. He read it silently, then looked up at Mina. Earth accepts the challenge, he said, and names me as champion. Mina stared in shock. You? But Jin will kill you. Maybe, June admitted. But I have more combat experience than any other human on Nexus. This isn't a human battlefield, Mina argued. Vectari are twice as strong as humans. Their reflexes are faster. Their skin is tougher. Which is why we need to be smarter, June replied. A soft knock interrupted them. Taiho stood at the door looking nervous. "May I enter?" the Luminar asked. "I have information you need." Once inside, Taiho's golden fur stood on end with anxiety. "The Vectari have done this before," he said. 300 years ago they challenged the Makari species the same way. The Makari lost and were reduced to a client state they never recovered. "See?" Mina said to June. "History repeats itself." "Not always," June replied. "Taiho, what do you know about Commander Jin?" The Luminar's ears twitched. "He's their top warrior, undefeated in 17 combat trials." He hesitated. "But there are rumors he uses illegal enhancements." "Enhancements?" June asked. "Genetic modifications, banned technology." Taiho looked around nervously. "The Vectari have a weakness few know about. Their nervous system is sensitive to certain sound frequencies, but you need special equipment to use that knowledge." June nodded thoughtfully. "Can you help me get such equipment?" Taiho's large eyes widened. "You're accepting the challenge? But humans can't beat Vectari in direct combat. They've never fought a human like me," June said simply. The next morning, June formally accepted the challenge before the council. A shock ran through the chamber. Even Rio looked surprised that a human would dare to face Jin. "The trial will take place tomorrow," Quan announced. "Each champion may select 3 weapons, no firearms, light armor only." As the council dispersed, Jin approached June. The Vectari warrior towered over him. "You are brave, human," Jin said. "Foolish, but brave." "We'll see who's foolish tomorrow," June replied calmly. After Jin left, Mina pulled June aside. "Are you insane? You're going to get yourself killed." "I have a plan," June assured her. "I just need to survive long enough to use it." Later, alone in his quarters, June prepared mentally for combat. He had fought stronger enemies before. Never this strong, but the principles were the same. Use their strength against them. Find their weakness. Adapt. He looked at the small device Taiho had given him, his third weapon choice. It didn't look like much, but if it worked as promised, it might give him a chance. A message from Mina appeared on his screen. "Whatever happens tomorrow, know that I believe in you. Earth believes in you." June smiled slightly. Tomorrow, the galaxy would learn what a human could do when pushed into a corner, and it would never forget. June Tae stood at the viewing window of the transport ship, watching as Nexus Station grew larger against the backdrop of swirling stars. The massive space station looked like a shining wheel with 8 spokes stretching out from its center. Lights flickered across its surface, marking the homes and workplaces of 100 different alien species. Quite a sight, isn't it? Mina Kim moved to stand beside him. Her dark uniform matched his own, both bearing the blue and green Earth emblem on the shoulder. "It is," June said. "Hard to believe we're the first humans to serve here." June was tall and moved with the careful grace of someone who knew how to fight. Before becoming a diplomat, he had served 15 years in Earth's special forces. His short black hair was neatly trimmed and a thin scar ran along his jaw, a reminder of his last combat mission. Mina was shorter, with keen eyes that missed little. She had spent her life in diplomatic service, speaking for Earth at every major meeting since humans had first met alien life 10 years ago. "The captain says we'll dock in 20 minutes, she said. "Are you ready?" June nodded. As ready as anyone can be to represent 8 billion humans to a galaxy of aliens. The ship hummed as it approached the docking bay. June checked his tablet. One last time, reviewing the information about the Galactic Confederation. Humans were the newest members, having only recently learned how to travel faster than light. Most other species had been using such technology for thousands of years. "Remember," Mina said quietly, "the Ardians lead the council. They'll be watching us closely. And watch out for the Vectari. They didn't want humans to join at all." June had memorized every species file. The Ardians were a peaceful, highly advanced species. The Vectari were strong, proud warriors with a history of taking what they wanted. There were dozens of others, some friendly, some not. The ship shuddered as it locked into place at the docking port. A chime sounded and the captain's voice came through the speakers. "We have arrived at Nexus Station. Earth delegation, please prepare to disembark." June took a deep breath. This wasn't like his military missions, where goals were clear and he could fight if needed. Here, words would be his weapons, and the battlefield was a complex web of alien politics he was just beginning to understand. The airlock door slid open with a soft hiss. Beyond it stood a group of aliens waiting to greet them. At the front was a tall, slender figure with pale blue skin and large eyes, High Administrator Quan of the Ardians. "Welcome to Nexus Station," Quan said in perfect English. "We are pleased to receive Earth's first official representatives." June and Mina bowed slightly, as was Earth custom. "Thank you for your welcome," Mina replied. "Earth is honored to join the Galactic Confederation," Quan gestured to the others. "Allow me to introduce council members from other species." The introductions went smoothly until they reached a muscular, red-skinned alien with ridges along his skull. Ambassador Rio of the Vectari barely nodded at them. "How interesting that humans have come so far," Rio said, his words sharp despite his smile. "Such a young species, still crawling from your planet." June kept his face calm but noted the veiled insult. "Youth has its advantages, Ambassador. We're eager to learn and quick to adapt." Rio's yellow eyes narrowed slightly. "We shall see." After the greetings, Quan led them through the station to their new quarters. The hallways were filled with aliens of all shapes and sizes. Some floated rather than walked. Others moved on many legs, and a few seemed to shimmer as if not fully solid. "Your embassy space has been prepared according to human needs," Quan explained. "You'll find Earth standard gravity, air mix, and temperature." The human embassy was a set of rooms near the center of the station. It was small compared to those of older species, but it was a start. Large windows looked out into space, and Earth's flag hung beside the Confederation symbol. "The welcome ceremony will begin in 3 hours," Quan said. "Until then, please rest and prepare." When the aliens left, June immediately began checking the rooms. "What are you doing?" Mina asked. "Old habits," he replied, running his hand under the desk. "Looking for anything that shouldn't be here." Mina sighed. "This isn't a military operation, June. We're diplomats now." "I was chosen for this mission because of my military background, not despite it," he reminded her. Earth Command wanted someone who could spot trouble. He found the first listening device under the conference table, a tiny disc barely larger than his fingernail. He left it in place but made a mental note of its location. "Find something?" Mina asked, seeing his expression change. "Nothing important," he lied smoothly. They would need to be careful what they said in these rooms. "Tell me about the welcome ceremony." As Mina explained the ritual, June's tablet beeped with an encrypted message from Earth Command. "Caution. Intelligence suggests Vectari opposition to human membership. Watch for sabotage." Just as he finished reading, there was a knock at the door. Outside stood a shorter alien with golden fur and large, curious eyes. "Greetings," the alien said. "I am Taiho of the Luminar. I hope to speak with Earth's representatives before the ceremony." Mina welcomed him in while June observed carefully. The Luminar were known as scholars and scientists. "Your species fascinates me," Taiho said, his ears twitching with excitement. "You developed so differently from others. Most species grow there. Technology slowly over thousands of years. Humans did it in mere centuries." "We're good at building on ideas," Mina said. "And we work well under pressure." Taiho nodded eagerly. "That's what makes you unique. Other species see your youth as weakness. I see potential." Their conversation was interrupted by another message on June's tablet. The ceremony would begin soon. As they walked to the Great Hall, June noticed Vectari security officers watching them. Their hands rested too close to their weapons for comfort. The ceremony hall was massive, with representatives from all Confederation species seated in rising tiers. At the center was a platform where new members were formally recognized. When Sabantur, June and Mina took their places. A hush fell over the crowd. High Administrator Quan spoke of Earth's achievements and welcomed humans to the stars. Most aliens applauded politely. The Victari delegation sat stone-faced. After the ceremony, as species mingled and talked, June overheard two Victari speaking quietly. "It won't last long," one said. "Humans are too unpredictable, too dangerous." "Ambassador Rio has a plan," the other replied. "They'll never gain full status." June moved away before they noticed him. He caught Mina's eye across the room and gave a small signal they had agreed upon. Trouble brewing. Later that night, back in their quarters, June did another sweep for listening devices and found two more. "We need to be careful," he told Mina, in a whisper. "The Victari don't want us here, and they're planning something." Mina looked worried. "Can we trust anyone?" "Maybe Taiho. The Luminar have no reason to work against us." June looked out at the stars. "But for now, we trust no one completely." He touched the Earth emblem on his uniform. Humans had fought long and hard for their place among the stars. He wouldn't let anyone take that away. "Whatever comes," he said, "we'll be ready." What he didn't say was that the galaxy had never dealt with humans before. They had no idea what a human could do when pushed into a corner. They would learn soon enough.